literacy. So if we could, if I can get a volunteer from the crowd to actually read one at a time. Actually, one person read one of them, and then the next person read another one.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. All media messages are constructed.
Media messages are constructed using a creative language with its own rules.
Different people experience the same media message differently.
Media have embedded values and points of view.
Most media messages are organized to gain profit and/or power.
Okay, so pretty much the themes, the 5 themes that goes with those, and I wrote it kind of little. The 5 themes to kind of go with these different 5 core concepts is the number one thing that you need to focus on is authorship. The second one is format. The third one is audience. The fourth is content, and the fifth is purpose. That's pretty much what any person, when it comes to creating any type of media or ads, really consider and really. I mean, they pay the big bucks for people to actually, research those 5 different things. So what do you know about media? Obviously, we see it every day. We experience it, and we come in contact with it all the time. But what do you know about it? Very general question. I know. Not much. What is the first thing that you think of when you hear the word media? Cameras. Mm-hmm.
Television.
Television.
Lies.
You said lies. Usually. Hmm?
Electronics.
Mm-hmm. Gossip. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because usually when we think of media, we don't think about it being a communication relationship per se. And that's really all it is. And to kind of get to the first point, so that we can kind of go into some activities. The first point is authorship. Okay. Now, obviously, we're all in school at this point in time. We all have to write papers, right? So when you write a paper, do you write? I mean, if it has to be about what are some of the papers that you have to write nowadays?
Persuasive essays.
Persuasive essays. Okay. And what is one that somebody is working on?
I have to convince my school, has a class named Buy Different Toilet Paper. That's pretty interesting.
Toilet paper is important. I agree. So since you had to convince your school to buy new toilet paper, would you talk about the date that prom is a conflict for you and your family's vacation schedule? Would you talk about that in your paper? Of course not, right? Yeah, exactly, right? So, so to really understand the communication process of media, we all have to understand that all media messages are constructed. Meaning, and the reason why I asked you that random question is because when we're preparing different products, be it an essay, or if we're making a PSA, or I mean even through a conversation that we have with another person, we make very strategic and directed choices about what we will say and what we won't say based on the content, based on how we want to come off, just based on our feelings and our reactions to certain things. And that's the reason why I asked that random question is because you have to make a choice and you have to make a very conscious decision about what you're going to include and what you won't. Now, if you want to try to tie in the date being bad into something about a decision with toilet paper, you are a great person, and I don't know how you're going to do it.
That's my conclusion.
But the fact of the matter is, choices need to be made. So when we think about media and when we think about what we see and how it's presented to us, it is a package. It is constructed. So therefore, somebody had to make the choices to present the things that you see, and somebody also had to decide against the things that do not exist or the things that you don't see. So that can kind of lead into our first activity. So if we could pair up into twos,